Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Today, Tony Blair admitted he profoundly underestimated the forces that were going to be unleashed in Iraq after the war. The former Prime Minister said his understanding of the Middle East is now much deeper than it was at the time of the invasion in 2003. His remarks are likely to be seen as a first defence of his actions just weeks before Sir John Chilcot is due to publish the findings of his inquiry into the Iraq War. Well, with me is the Daily Mail journalist Peter Oborne, who's written his own version, not the Chilcot report, an alternative inquiry into the Iraq War. And here it is. Now, we don't know what Sir John Chilcot is going to conclude. What have you concluded?
I've concluded, I must say, I have some sympathy with Mr. Blair about that point there. I don't think anybody advised him that it would go, that the forces of hell would be unleashed.
The aftermath would be quite as bad, yeah.
I mean, the critical people, it was a job really of the Foreign Office, the Secret Intelligence Service and so forth, to warn him in that way, and I don't think they did do that properly. I'll conclude that one of them is that it was nobody anticipated what would happen. I'll also say that the British government, the Blair government, did lie about the existence of weapons of mass destruction. It lied in order to make the case for war.
Well, you say lied because, you know, we both covered this story at the time, and the people that I've talked to, they say, we admit now that we were wrong, but at the time we really believed it. And there's really no proof, is there?
Well, it's a very important question about lying, and you must use the word very carefully, because lie doesn't simply involve being wrong.
Yeah.
It involves being consciously and knowingly wrong and intending to deceive. But I was unimpressed by Tony Blair's recent defence. I think it was in America somewhere, where he said, look, the intelligence was wrong and I apologise for that, but I just passed on the intelligence. The fact is that he didn't do that. He amplified, he misrepresented the intelligence he was getting from the Joint Intelligence Committee. I mean, and you can see that was the case. And nevertheless, he might, in good faith, have misrepresented that intelligence. But his government...
But, I mean, if you say he lied about weapons of mass destruction, that must mean that you believe he didn't think they were there, and he told us they were there.
No, what I'm saying is that he said that he made a whole load of sweeping statements about what Saddam Hussein possessed in the way of weapons of mass destruction, which were not justified by the intelligence.
Now, you do ask the big question, which I'm pretty sure Sir John Chilcot is not going to ask, is Tony Blair a war criminal?
Yes, we asked that question.
And what's your answer?
Well, if you look at the Nuremberg trials, he waged a war of aggression. It was an illegal war. I don't think there's much doubt about that. To order an illegal war, a war of aggression, is, according to the Nuremberg tribunals, it is against. It is.
But it wasn't against the rules
an act
of the International Criminal Court, for example, where Karadzic is on trial.
Yeah. But Britain at the time, I identify the advice from Goldsmith, the Attorney General, where he points out that actually the ICC won't apply, that basically Britain's part of the EU Security Council, and there's no chance at all of Mr. Blair being...
Because, you know, at the root of this, defenders of Tony Blair will still say, well, in the end, are you saying it would have been better if America and Britain had left Saddam Hussein in place?
Yes, of course it would have been. I mean, if you
it
just
would have
look...
been better, even although he was a despot, killed his own cabinet, gassed people, all the rest of it. I mean, that's the fundamental question, isn't it?
Yeah, well, by 2002-3, Saddam was killing very few of his own people. If you compare that to what has happened since, I mean, the awful civil war that was unleashed, and now, as President Obama has said, it's led to the emergence of this appalling Islamic State, Daesh. you can't really claim with any kind of credibility that it would have been that it was better what happened rather than leaving Saddam Hussein in power. It's a very interesting point. You know, Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, Assad. They're not, you know, they're despots. But is it better to leave them there with stability, or unleash the dogs of horror?
We probably viewed things rather differently in 2003 than we view those sort of questions now.
And I do acknowledge that I'm writing this book in retrospect. I would, you know, very much so.
So finally, do you have any expectations from the real Chilcot report?
Well, from what we've seen so far, it looks like they are rather a scattergun approach. I mean, they're criticising apparently about 40 people or 50 people. That seems to me not enough. 2.6 million words seems to me, just looking from what we're expecting, that it's going to be a bit of a run round the houses rather than ask the big questions. Was the war legal? Was there a secret deal between Blair and Bush? Did Blair and the British government lie in order to make the case for war? Was it properly prepared for? I think those are the questions it may not properly answer.
Peter Oborne, we're going to have to wait till the 6th of July for answers to those questions from John Chilcot. Your version already out this week. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So everybody's